Hi, I'm Chris and I'm a psychotherapist, yoga instructor and wellness retreat owner here in Australia. If you'd like to follow us for more tips or more ideas on retreat dates, please follow us on Instagram at Rolling Hills Retreats, or my website for my counselling and psychotherapy is www.citykounsellor.org. I love to fuse in mental health strategies or themes or ideas in with yoga. I think they're two things that can complement each other really, really nicely. Any of us can struggle with our mental health at any time, so trying to do things to keep us topped up with the good stuff and keep our mental health at the top end of the spectrum is really important, and yoga can be something that can be doing that, as well as being open to doing the work on yourself. And by that I mean being open to understanding what works for you, what doesn't, and what strategies you can use to help you to either let in or let go of feelings that may not be serving you anymore. We're going to be starting off our session today. It's a Hatha yoga session today, and a little bit shorter, so we're going to be getting moving pretty much straight away. But before we start, I invite you to close down your eyes, come into a nice seated position, placing your hands in whatever position calls to you, maybe into prayer, maybe resting on your knees, palms up or palms facing down. Settling into our space, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then we're going to begin with the pranayama breathing technique, full yogic breath, placing our right hand on our stomach, left hand on our heart. And as you inhale, I'd like you to feel your chest puff out in your chest. Hold. And as you exhale, your chest sinks in, followed by your stomach. Inhale, stomach, chest. Hold. And exhale. Chest deflates, stomach deflates. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Continue for several rounds at your own pace. Today's yoga session, our theme today, our mental health strategy, information weaved in, is about the 4 pillars of mental health. This is physical, mental, or cognitive as sometimes it's called, emotional, and spiritual. And sometimes these can get a little bit out of balance. So connecting in with our body, with our breath, with our soul, with our mind. We can have a quick check-in to see which ones are we maybe giving too much energy to, or which ones are we not giving enough to. One more inhale. Hold. We're going to start in standing today, so if you can bring your big toes to touch, soles of the feet slightly apart. Let's take a nice big inhale, arms up. Exhale, your left hand down to the side, and then opening up, standing side stretch. Maybe your gaze is looking down over your left shoulder, down to the mat, or maybe it's looking up to your right arm. Remembering to breathe, inhale. And with the exhale, maybe side stretch a little bit further. Inhale, arms up. And exhale down to the other side. Again, taking your drishti, your gaze, to wherever feels comfortable for you. With every exhale, maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Inhale, arms up. And exhale through heart center. Coming to the top of our mat, big toes touching, soles of the feet slightly apart. We're going to start getting the body moving. Coming to a sun salutation. Let's inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, step back to a plank position. And on the exhale, come down to your knees, chest, chin. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, come through tabletop, back to downward facing dog. Inhale your right foot to the sky. Exhale, right foot comes in between the hands. Left knee comes down to the mat. Inhale, low lunge. Your drishti, your gaze, can be either looking straight ahead or looking up to your hands. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And as you exhale, bring those hands down to frame the front foot. Right foot steps back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Exhale, left foot comes in between the hands. Right knee comes down to the mat. Inhale, low lunge on the other side. For that first pillar, physical, you're already starting to work on that today. You're moving, you're doing some exercise. These are all good things that we need to do daily to help us balance ourselves out. One more inhale. And exhale. Bringing the hands down. Left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look in between the hands and walk nice and slowly towards the top of your mat. Coming into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale through heart center. Beautiful. Inhale, arms to the sky. Maybe taking your gaze up to your hands this time. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step or jump back to plank. Either go knees, chest, chin, or come through Chaturanga Dandasana, coming close down to the mat. And as you inhale, upward facing dog, looking up to the sky. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot to the sky. Exhale, right foot comes in between the hands. We're going to inhale into high lunge here. Our next part is our mental, our cognitive pillar. This is working on things such as strategies to help us to cope better when life gets hard. What sort of unhelpful thinking styles have we picked up along the way? What helpful ones have we picked up? Which ones work for us? One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Float hands down, right foot steps back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Exhale, left foot comes in between the hands. Inhale, high lunge on the other side. The next pillar is our emotional pillar. How do we deal with emotions when they come up? Do we have gratitude journals? Do we practice gratitude? Do we try reframing our thoughts to be more positive? Do we talk about our feelings or do we bottle them in? What's our resilience like emotionally? One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Float hands down, left foot steps back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look in between the hands. Exhale, step or lightly jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale through heart center. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Maybe a slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step or jump back. Go through your vinyasa or meet in downward facing dog, whatever works for you today. When you're ready, inhale, right foot to the sky. Exhale, right foot comes in between the hands. Inhale into high lunge. Exhale, bring your hands into a fist behind your back if this is available to you. Inhale, pull down with those fists, chest raises high, head looks up. And exhale, forward fold into humble warrior. Bring those fists up and above you. Remembering to breathe. Our fourth pillar is our spiritual side. And this is that connecting with community, connecting with friends, connecting with family, having something maybe to work on towards as a community, having belief that maybe there is something bigger out there that you are part of. When anxiety and depression comes to visit, some people can lose connection to other people, to themselves, to their purpose, their value. And focusing on our spiritual side can help reconnect this. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Coming back to high lunge. Hands come down. Right foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, left foot to the sky. Exhale, left foot comes in between the hands. Inhale, high lunge on the other side. Exhale, palms behind. Inhale, chest proud. And exhale, folding forward into humble warrior. Knowing that we need to ask for help at some times. This pose always makes me think of that. Be humble. Be humble with your achievements. Know that it's okay to ask for help at times. That helps you form community and bonds, helping that spiritual pillar. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Come back up to high lunge. Hands come down to frame the front foot. Right foot steps back to downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look in between the hands. Exhale, step or lightly jump to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale through heart center. Beautiful. I want you to bring your feet as wide as the mat now. We're going to be coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So feet as wide as you can go and the toes turned in ever so slightly. Bring your hands to your hips. A nice little smile. Inhale, new energy and new air. And exhale, forward fold. Folding with your heart rather than your head. When you're ready, coming maybe all the way down and bringing your left hand down to the mat. Inhaling, right arm up to the sky, maybe bringing your gaze to look up at that right hand. Remembering to breathe. With every exhale, you might sink a little bit deeper and closer to that mat. What's your mental, cognitive pillar doing right now? Is it telling you you can't do this? Is it telling you this is too hard? Or is it telling you something more positive? I can do this. I am doing this. One more inhale. And on the exhale, bringing that right hand down, coming down in front of your face, and inhale that left hand up to the sky. Maybe taking your gaze with it. One more inhale. And exhale, bringing that hand down. Bringing hands to the hips. And then on the next inhale, slowly coming up. Vertebrae by vertebrae. You can start to zigzag your feet back in towards the middle. I'm going to come into a standing hand to knee pose here. So a bit of a balancing pose here. Again, we're always trying to balance those four pillars. So the physical, the mental, the emotional and the spiritual. And yoga can be a really great way to do that. So bringing the big toes together, soles of the feet slightly apart. I want you to ground your right foot into the mat and raise your left knee. You can bring your right hand to right hip. You've got several options here. You can either use your left hand to put it on the inside of your left knee and then open up to the side. Some of you might prefer to take it to the next, I guess, phase could be to bring your left hand around your left toe, open up your chest nice and proud, and as you exhale, kicking through with your feet, with your heel. Standing nice and proud, and when you're ready, maybe opening up your foot, straightening that leg, and then maybe taking your right hand out to the sides, and then maybe bringing your drishti, your gaze, look over that right hand. Don't worry if you wobble, it happens. One more inhale. And as you exhale, bringing that knee in, that left knee in, and give it a nice big hug. And we're going to come into Warrior 3. I'm going to turn slightly to the side to show you what it looks like from the side. Inhale, that knee nice and proud. And as you exhale, reaching that foot back. And you can either have your hands alongside of you, out like aeroplane wings, or out in front of you for the full expression. Raising that left leg nice and high, maybe flexing your toes towards your shin or away, whichever feels comfortable for you. And your gaze looking down at your mat. Remembering to breathe. This is a really lovely, strong pose, strong balancing pose. Making sure your left hip isn't coming up too high. One more inhale. And as you exhale, slowly coming back and walking out your feet. Beautiful. Let's do the same on the other side. Remember, life is about balance. So grounding your left foot into the mat and then raising your right knee. Either opening up using your hand or taking hold of that big toe. If you're taking hold of that big toe, get your chest raised nice and high. Your drishti, your gaze looking out at something ahead. On your next exhale, kicking out with the right heel. This might be where you stay. Some of you might like to open that leg. Really try straighten that leg. Maybe then opening up your left hand and your gaze may be looking over that left hand. With every inhale and exhale, think about how you can bring the pose, the asana, into more alignment. How can you make it stronger? One more inhale. On the exhale, bringing that right knee into hug and coming into Warrior 3. So folding forward, hands at the side, out like wings, or out in front to come into Warrior 3. Making sure that your right hip is not opened up to the side like this, but is facing down, parallel to the mat. One more inhale. And as you exhale, slowly coming back up, walking at your feet. Excellent. We're going to come down into a squat here. So feet can come a little bit wider than hip distance, toes pointing out, and then bringing our elbows in side of our kneecaps. Hands may be in prayer because this helps to push our elbows and our knees out. Just focusing in, focus on your breath. You're definitely working on your physical pillar. You're definitely working on your mental pillar. And you're joining me today, so you're helping connect with yourself, doing something at the same time as someone else, helping to build that spiritual side. Maybe doing this video with some friends might be a nice idea. And if any emotions are coming up, let them. I'm told to let go of negative emotions, which can be really useful, but actually we sometimes have to let them in We have to recognize them, we have to own them, so we can then work on them. And we're going to come into and attempt what's called crow pose here. So make sure there's nothing in your way, nothing that you can fall on. If you do fall, that's absolutely fine. It's all part of the process, all part of the fun. If you could do all the yoga poses really easily straight away, you wouldn't enjoy the journey because you'd have got there too quick. So keep practicing and you will get better with. So keeping our arms as they were in that squat pose, pushing out our elbows against our knees. You'll notice that your triceps are actually the ones that are pushing against the knees, and that's what we really want to work on in this pose. You then bring your hands splayed nice and wide and place them out in front of you, maybe about 40 centimeters or so. What we're going to do is we're going to walk in, walk those feet in a little bit closer now to each other. And we're going to start walking and folding in towards those hands, so putting a lot of weight into those hands. This might be where you stay today. Your gesture, your gaze is just out in front of your mat. You might lift one foot and then rest into it. You might lift the other foot and then balance into crow pose here. Remembering to breathe, bringing yourself back down and then back into the pose as many times as you need to. Breathing through, you can do this, and whenever you're ready, slowly coming down and coming into a child's pose. Feel free to pause the video there to practice that pose as many times as you like, and when you're ready, coming to meet us in child's pose. Knees as wide as the mat, hands spread out in front, forehead down. A little bit of a challenge. Be a really great way to stimulate those four pillars. Sometimes that challenge can actually be spread across all four of those pillars. Perfect balance. On your next inhale, slowly coming up and coming to lie down on your back. I'm going to come into bridge pose here. So if you're coming into bridge pose, you want to be able to touch, just lightly touch, the backs of your heels with your fingers. Feet hip distance apart. And come into your body, out of your mind. Take a nice big inhale. And on the exhale, pushing those hips up to the sky so that you're resting on your top part of your back, shoulders and your head. This might be where you stay. Really kind of trying to push your bum cheeks up and push your hips up. Some of you might like to bring your hands into a fist so that you can come up a little bit higher onto your shoulders, keeping your chin away from your chest. And breathing in and breathing out through the nose. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale, and then slowly coming down vertebrae by vertebrae. Bringing your knees into hug here. Maybe a little rock side to side. And maybe make small circles one way. And then the other. And we're going to come into a second round of bridge, or coming into wheel, if you'd like to try that today. So again, realign yourself, make sure your feet are hip distance apart, make sure that you can lightly touch the backs of the heels. If you're coming into bridge, inhale those hips nice and high. If you're coming into wheel, bring your hands either side of your ears so that your elbows are pointing up. Elbows are pointing up to the sky. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, pushing those hips up, lifting yourself up. And then what we're trying to do is imagine pushing your chest through your hand, through your arms. Knees coming in towards the midline, not splayed out too much. Hips nice and high. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale. And as you exhale, slowly coming down, vertebrae by vertebrae, using your head to help bring you down, and then giving yourself a nice big hug, a nice big shake. Little circles one way, and then the other. We're going to come into Bananarasana Pose, so really great for stretching out the side parts of our body. So what I'd like you to do is have your feet lying down, feet out in front of you. Move your right foot over to the right, and then your left foot comes over the top of that right foot. Once you're happy with the distance you've been able to go with that, you can then start to curve the top part of your body over to the right as well. Maybe grabbing your left elbow with your right hand and looking over to the right. So you're making the shape of a banana with both of your hips still on the mat. You might find that you can move your legs a little bit further to the right, or your elbows on the top part of your body. And ask yourselves, what are you doing on a daily basis to work on your physical pillar? Maybe it's an exercise class, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's a 10-minute abs push-up squat sequence. Maybe it's a swim in the ocean if you're lucky enough. What are you doing to work on your mental pillar? Creating good strategies to help keep your mental health topped up, to help keep yourself stimulated in the brain. For some people, this is doing a puzzle. For some people, it's writing a gratitude journal. For some people, it's finding something that's challenging for them to learn, to get themselves immersed into. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. One more inhale. And exhale, pull a little bit deeper. Slowly coming out, unraveling, and coming to the same on the other side. So bringing your left foot out nice and wide to the left. Right foot comes over if that's available to you. Then start moving the top part of your body and use your left hand to pull your right elbow over, coming into the shape of a banana. And then when you're ready, ask yourself, what are you doing to top up your emotional pillar? How do you let emotions go? Do you let them fester? Do you talk them out? Do you share with others? Do you allow yourself to be vulnerable? Do you allow people to see all the various beautiful parts that make you who you are? Do you allow your body to feel, or are you stuck in my head? Whenever I ask therapy clients the question, how are you feeling? A lot of the time they'll tell me what they're thinking, and we get really confused with what's a thought and what's a feeling. So really try to understand what a feeling is, and when it comes up and what you do with it can be really beneficial. Because the more that we are in touch with our bodies and our feelings, the more we can understand. Allow them to come when they come, and maybe help those negative ones move on quicker when we need to. And finally ask yourself, what are you doing each day to top up your spiritual side? Are you part of any sort of community? Do you offer anything to your community? Do you organize things with your friends? Do you share with your friends? One more inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly coming out. Maybe coming into happy baby just before we come into Shavasana, our final resting pose. You're coming into happy baby, hands coming either side of your feet, pinky toe side. Pulling down ever so lightly on those feet. Maybe a little rock left to right, right to left. And then when you're ready, coming into Shavasana. Feet come as wide as the mat. Hands several inches away from your body. Really fully rest and absorb what you've just done for yourself. Think about those 4 pillars if you wish, or maybe just focusing in on your breath. Maybe listening out for any sounds that are around you. Maybe new sounds you haven't heard. Breathing in and out freely, and just enjoy. Feel free to stay in this resting Shavasana pose, or if you're coming with me, start to bring life back into your fingers and toes. And turning to whatever side calls to you this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. Keeping your eyes closed, slowly coming up into a nice comfortable seated position. Maybe hands into prayer if that's in your practice. Take a nice big inhale. And a sigh through the mouth. Remember to think about your 4 pillars, what needs attention, what needs rebalancing, recalibrating. Be open to doing the work on yourself. That's all that I ask. The light and life inside of me honors the light and life inside each and every one of you. Have a beautiful day or evening. Namaste. I hope that you enjoyed that session. If you'd like more, or if there's any questions, comments, feedbacks or requests, please feel free to get in touch. I'm Chris, and our Instagram is @RollingHillsRetreats or www.sydneycounsellor.org. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.